Welcome to another edition of BeerAmerica.tv. I am Paul Leone with
John Pinkerton
and
sorry, David Little.
David Little, consuming a beer that we won't be trying. It's actually cask ale night tonight at Moon River Brewing, where we are in the brew house. Every Thursday.
It's my calibration beer. It sets the palate. Right?
Sets the palate, right. Well, this beer we're going to talk about today was I actually got a few comments on the web that we had to try this beer.
Right.
And before I even knew about it. You knew about it. And they were like, oh, this is the best beer I ever had. One guy said it's the best beer he's ever had in his life. And the beer we're talking about is, David, go ahead.
This is Terrapin's, one of Terrapin's, it's the latest in their side project series. This is called Monk's Revenge.
Monk's Revenge.
Yeah, it's I think it's the fifth, isn't it?
Yeah, yes.
It's number 5 in their side. The side project at Terrapin is, these are all one-off. They make them one time. They don't plan to ever make it again. So they're all kind of very special when you can get a hold of one of them.
So this is not a seasonal thing. This is
it's a one
time only, which seems to be kind of popular lately. I was kind of at the store today, and I noticed a couple of beers that said, that right on the label they had printed one-time release.
Yep.
Right on.
So, well, I know some breweries that do the same kind of thing for like anniversary beers. So on their 11th anniversary, they make a beer, and they say it's the only time they're going to make it. But then I've seen them actually bring that into rotation.
I was going to say, it's a shame that if it's a great beer and then, you can't have it anymore.
I think that's kind of how the New Belgium Lips of Faith thing started.
Lips of Faith. Yeah. So go ahead, let's open this up and talk about it. And what kind of beer is this?
It is
a Belgian-style double India Pale Ale.
It's a Belgian double IPA with American hopping.
And have you had it before?
I have not. So basically, we're going after that whole Belgians imitating Americans imitating Belgians.
Exactly. What did we do before that? That was me talking about Hugh Malone at the end of year series, the end of year show.
Okay.
And you got mad at me for talking in circles.
So perfect. And let's see here. Ooh, smells nice. Good.
Beautiful color.
Lots of good hop character there.
Now, I was talking to the guys at the brewery when I went to pick this stuff up, and what they were going for anybody that's had them, is some of the Schoof beers. So, like Houblon Schoof, which is the great nose. Now, I think most of the hopping in this is American, though.
I was saying wow about that yeast character. That's really lovely. I wonder what yeast they're using.
It is. Let's see. I don't know which of the Trappist breweries it is, but it is a Trappist.
If it's on the website, I'll get that and we'll put it right like we do, that little magic of video.
Oh, boy.
There it is right there at the bottom of the screen. I'll make
sure
I get it up there.
really distinctive.
Ooh, that's a nice beer.
It is nice. Nicely done, guys. It's kind of weird. It's like another Georgia brewery, but they're all the way on the other side of the state, which one might think that's really not such a far distance, but it's actually a fair piece between... here and
I know it well. I do it every weekend. Yes.
But we get to have fun at the beer festivals and stuff. We get together and hang out with Spike and John. And
Yep.
And we're hoping to get up there sometime to do some video pieces up there at Terrapin as well. It's a short drive for us. So
I know we got some stuff planned this summer. So.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and you can get a little technical here. I mean, it seems to me that beers that are hopped, and I guess I wouldn't say really hopped, but extra hopped, does it tend to turn a little sweeter?
Not necessarily.
What am I tasting, I guess?
This is a higher alcohol beer.
Okay.
I'm looking for the
Is it a yeast
alcohol
thing?
content.
It's I think it's just under 10, like 9.
This is good video. Me
9,
like
8.
trying to read the damn
And again, you will have seen the alcohol long before we started looking for
I'm
it.
pretty sure
it's our
it's
research,
just under
actually.
10%.
You gotta fire the research staff. Somebody do that.
Actually, I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow.
Right, good.
I mean, I'm tasting. To me, what I'm tasting is the result of a higher gravity beer.
Okay.
Usually, when you start getting up there, and we talked about this before, how some of the stronger beers, as you get stronger and stronger, those yeast kind of, they're fermenting away, but they start to peter out after a while, and they tend to leave behind even some fermentable sugars. In some cases, you can actually take a fairly strong beer, and you might even get some more fermentation out of it if you had a yeast that was strong enough to finish the job.
I actually did read a little bit about this. I think it ended up with still about 2 bricks, or 2 Play-Doh.
Explain.
That is way sweeter than 2 Play-Doh.
Explain. Now you got to explain.
Oh, yeah.
The beer geek talk, and I don't even know.
I was going to say 2 Homers, but I think Play-Doh. 2 Socrateses.
2 Plutos. 2 Plutos.
Well, one of the numerous scales that measure density is the Plato scale. The Plato scale follows very closely with the Balling scale, as well as bricks. I mean, there are some. I mean, to the hundredths of a number, you might actually get some variation, but they're very, very close. The scale that's most often used in the homebrewing world is, and this kind of comes from the history of British brewing, is what we call specific gravity. And this is, and they're all basically based on some amount of water with some specific amount of sugar. Right. You know, so it's all relative. But two Plato would be what 1.008. It's about 4. I mean, rough estimates usually on the original. I was told there'd be no math.
Yeah, no math. We went over the whole math thing on the Brewing Network thing. Yeah, there's no math.
Anyhow, just for my taste, I mean, just empirically, you know, on a day in and day out basis, having the opportunity to taste beers and know what their densities are. Geek. I'm guessing that there's more sugar than that here. I mean, it's pretty full bodied. And when we talk about sugar and we talk about density, really what it all comes down to is what is the perception of sweetness and also body, that sort of fullness on the palate. Generally, those things go hand in hand. A lot of times with Belgian beers too, though, we'll have something that's fairly full-bodied, but you'll have acidity, and that will kind of help lighten it up on the palate. Right. This is not one that has a whole lot of acidity, at least to my palate. This is mostly, I think, dominated by fruit, that yeast character that's throwing off that typical Belgian fruitiness. There's a little bit of that phenol, but it's fairly subtle.
Yeah.
It's not It's not a like slam dunk on the spice, but it's there. It's got that distinctive Belgian kind of character. This one, we often talk about the Belgian character sort of manifesting itself as having that Brettanomyces sort of
which I'm learning
what I
what
always
that
call
is.
hazel,
witch hazel and bubblegum. Juicy fruit. Yeah.
That's not here either.
Right.
This is going to be probably mostly a Saccharomyces fermentation of some sort of Belgian origin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I do know that Spike said this is the only Terrapin beer that he's ever made in his professional brewing career that used some extra dextrose, which is very traditional or very common in the Belgian beers. So that helps drive the alcohol up without really adding a whole lot of body to it. So.
Really smooth. I mean, I enjoy this beer. It doesn't knock me over, and it doesn't taste real boozy to me. Even though I know I can taste the alcohol, but it doesn't taste boozy where it crosses that line.
Right.
It's not those higher, what we call the headache pills. You know, it's not those high alcohol.
I'm getting some indication that it's there, but it's pretty well integrated.
Right.
I would definitely not want to drink a whole lot of this just for fear of that.
As I'm finishing this.
I actually,
which is not a diss. It's just sort of my body saying, danger.
Not the pint glasses, and we have these nice
small samples.
Small
actually, John Cochran, who's one of the principals there at the brewery, when I was there to pick these beers up, he kind of looked at me and smiled, and he said, "Be very careful with these." And I said, "I won't drop them." He said, "That's not what I mean."
Yeah, right. Just be careful. Well, it's funny, when we were talking about the bottles having in the store with the one-time release, well, now that I look at the bottle, there it is right there. It says
one-time
right there,
release.
one-time release.
And this whole
can we see that, John? Can we see that right there? It says one-time release right there on the label. So they're doing the same sort of thing. And, it really makes you want to scoop them up and hoard them in a way. You know?
Oh, well, actually, and I have.
If you love them, you know. I mean,
absolutely.
I did it today with Jubilation 12 on the shelf.
You never want to say that in front of me though, because I'm kind of a consummate. I'm a pack rat by trade.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not by trade, by instinct.
By instinct. Yeah.
My mother and I are terrible hoarders.
I've cellared most of the side projects.
Have you?
So yeah, I've got a couple of them. My favorite so far has been, and the guys are going to kill me for not remembering which number. I think it was 2, which is their Rogan Rausch beer, which was kind of.
How could you not remember?
Party at David's. Party at David's.
Yeah, I got a lot of people who want to get into my man cave.
Exactly.
Sorry. There's an admission price.
That doesn't sound right. Don't say that again.
It's Monk's Revenge 5, Belgian-style double India Pale Ale. A one-time release, so if you can get your hands on it, get it. And yes, for all those who sent comments, excellent beer. Thank you for suggesting it.
Yeah,
Thank you for bringing it to the table.
Thanks, Spike, John.
Thanks, Spike, John, Dustin for sharing. No, it was delicious.
You want to get a hold of us, it's Paul at beeramerica.tv and Pink at beeramerica.tv. And I got to get a David or something at BeerAmerica.tv, don't you think?
Okay.
Do you want one?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, we'll get a David.
He's an IT guy, man.
He's
He
an
needs-
IT guy. I
he
know.
needs yet
You
another
need another
email address.
That's what
Yeah,
I was thinking.
like I don't have enough already. That's okay.
We're all over the web, and I got the new podcast numbers, and we've got like thousands of downloads already from
Sweet.
podcasting.
All
So,
right.
cheers,
Awesome.
gentlemen.
Well, sludge.
Cheers.
Delicious.
And
Thanks,
thank you
Terrapin.
to my neighbor,
Thanks,
John
guys.
Jolie, for doing the camera for us. Thanks. Cheers, Joe.
Good stuff.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.